SharePoint page.
Okay, so we are live. Now I'm getting our screens ready to roll.
All right.
I'm on that page as well. Let's see, there's one more thing I wanted to do. I think that's good enough. Okay, so, oh, that's right. I want to start the recording so that this goes to our actual team as well.
Okay.
So start recording. And then share the desktop. Okay, let me know when you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see your screen now.
Okay, so you should be on the same page. I want to talk about, since we're going to have other people listening to this, I want to talk about the different options that are available. Hey, what's going on here? Why do I got some Chinese crap on here? Did you
I
put that
have
in?
no idea either. No, I did not.
Yes, you did. You put Chinese on here.
I did not touch that page, and I was like,
What does
why
this
would you
even
put
mean?
Chinese stuff? It says class material, but I don't know why it's on there. I don't
You
know.
you did it.
Probably it's like sync with some of my files online,
You're the only
but
Chinese we have. This is
I
you.
mean, but it looks good here. It looks good.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're going to talk about how to do different contracts, pretty much just how to make money. Let's just give that as the main genre of what we're talking about today. How do you make money? Okay?
Yeah, I think this would be a topic that lots of the people are very excited about to hear about.
Yeah, definitely. So, my overall goal with this page called proposal management, a lot of people look at sales and they look at society teaches us how to make money one way, but how society teaches us, it's not really the best way to do it. You have to study a lot to know how to do sales and how to get big contracts, unless you're just going to be an employee in life. People don't realize when you go to school, school teaches you how to be an employee. School does not teach you how to be an employer. School does not teach you how to be an entrepreneur. School doesn't show you how to go out and get those big contracts. So I want to cover that now. And this is just going to open your mind to that direction, and it's going to give you resources. You're going to have to do a lot of homework on this afterwards. And you really should shift 20% of your whole life. That's how important this is. 20% of your whole life just in this one direction. And when you do that,
The RFP.
I don't want to say just RFP. It's proposals in general, sales in general.
Okay.
So let's look at this site, and I just started this website. I don't have very much material up on here. The talk that we're doing now, we're going to put it up as an extra video on here. But essentially, we talk about the grant method. The grant method is not just for grants. We use this method anytime you write any proposal. Okay?
Okay.
And I've already written a lot of beautiful proposals, and we have those files all down inside of here. So if you want to look at some of our old proposals that we've made, like this one right here, the Ignite Curiosity Summit, this is a proposal. We have this whole thing broken down into all the different sections of business that we do in our company. Okay?
Okay.
So you could go into these folders and you could say, you know, I'm interested in getting a contract for education. So you click into education, and then it shows you a lot of our past projects. So we've only ran this for a little bit. As we get a lot more sophisticated, you're going to see a lot more sophisticated files here. Even though I said we've only done this a little bit, I mean, I have never seen this sophisticated system just given out to people to play around with and use. Like if you go to the templates here, we just have, I guess not the templates. If you go into one of our past projects, like this Ignite Curiosity Summit, this same project can be found over here, right there. So when you
Okay.
click on these and look into them, if you want to put together really beautiful RFPs, this is an RFP. So an RFP,
Okay.
or this isn't an RFP, this is a response to an RFP. So we're going to talk about, what is an RFP? How do you respond to them? So the best way in business, which they don't teach you in school, if you want to make money, then you have to respond to people that have proposals. People want you to do business and they want you to respond with a story. So as you see, this is a story that we're telling about what we're going to do. It's very beautiful. It breaks down
Mm-hmm.
who is involved, and then it says the daily events, has tons of information. Have you seen this yet?
I think I've seen this before. I
S
didn't like read through the whole proposal, but I've seen this before.
Yeah, so mainly this is, I'm just going to scroll through to show you more. What I want you to see is how beautiful it is. It's
All
beautiful.
right.
It has tons of words. Um, so it's very text heavy. Even though it
Right.
is text heavy, it's easy for the brain to digest because of how beautiful it looks.
Right.
And then it does have technical information in it as well. So that's very hard for people to achieve. They go to school and they write some essays, but their essays are so ugly and they never learn how to put beautiful proposals together like this. So on one
Right.
hand, if you learn how to make beautiful proposals, that changes your life, that changes your company. That is so important. On the other
Mm-hmm.
hand, if you're never going to make beautiful proposals, at least work for a company that does make beautiful proposals. So we've already made a lot. That was just one. You can go into some of the other ones that we have on here, and we break down everything. We're sharing everything with people. You can look at our budget narrative. You can look at the actual Word document that has the proposal, and you can completely edit this on your own. Um, we're giving all of the information just completely away. So when you go into this, this is an actual Word document, and we keep the same theme with our company on our documents.
Okay.
Is this the same one? Yeah, this is the same document we just looked at, but this is the raw file of it instead of the PDF. So let's look at another one. Okay, so we have education. We just looked at that one. I don't know if we did this guy. Project narrative. So learning how to write a narrative and how to make sure your narrative corresponds with your company. Okay, so this is a different one. It's 20 pages long. Okay. But again, it has a very similar look. And you can recycle material. You don't have to always come up with something completely fresh, completely brand new. You can copy and paste from other proposals you have. Does this make sense? Did you disappear? You are the only one here. Well, I'm going to continue teaching because people can come back and watch this anytime that they want. So that's what a secondary proposal looks like with very similar theme. And if you work in our company, then we'll give you access to this stuff and you can edit it, move it around, break it down. So let's look at some other ones. We also have, I don't know if we have the creativity one in here. No, we don't have the creativity one in there yet. So, like I said, we're just putting all of this together, and we do have a lot in the creativity. So let's go look at our creativity. I'm going to open it up.
Okay.
Oh, she's
Sorry, I'm
back.
back.
She's
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, I lost the connection. It's weird. Sorry about that.
No problem. Okay, so I just showed another example of what a proposal could look like, and it looked very similar. Did you see the beginnings of it?
Yeah.
So that was all for our education company, okay? That's all under Dow, and our company is called Dow Learning, and that's under education.
Okay.
So long term, my goal is to have beautiful proposals under each of these areas, okay?
Okay.
Right now, today, we only have the education and the creative proposals done. And when you go into creative, I don't have them in here yet, but I'm going to upload files folder. I'm going to grab it now and put it in there. So if I go into, I believe it's Dow Media. Where did we put that? Portfolio. Market report. We call it a schedule. So there's no schedule here. And long term, what we want to have is just a very categorized and organized system where you can go in and find any RFP response anytime you want.
Okay.
And I want to show you another company, so I'm going to get out the Dow Media one. Maybe it's in Dow Fruit under Dow Media. Okay, yeah, here it is. Okay, so we made this one in InDesign. And then here are the main two files that make up that entire proposal. So what I'm going to do is go into the creative folder, and I'm going to upload these files in here. And I'm just going to bring in, you know what, I really should bring everything in here. I'll bring it all in. So instead of uploading it this way, if you didn't know, how to organize your files really changes your life on what you can do in business. So I'm going to take all of these files in the proposal, copy it, and if I'm really serious about proposal management, then I'll have proposal management right here on my actual computer, and I can just go into creativity and I'll paste in that entire folder there. So that's huge. It's a 1 gigabyte. Okay, so there's our proposal, and this took our team a long time to put together. This stuff is not something you can come up with overnight. Knowing how to bring all of this together to where it's beautiful, it's a game changer for your company. What a lot of people do in the beginning of their business is they just come up with prices off the top of their head. And you don't want to do that. When you come up with prices off the top of your head, you don't come across as professional. Your own team doesn't understand what your prices are. Your clients don't have confidence in you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So here's a page that breaks down, and this is called a schedule, a government schedule. So you can go out and get projects straight from the U.S. government and any government, really. And this is what ours looks like for a creative agency. Have you seen this one yet?
No.
And then this breaks down the services that we offer. So in our other tutorials, we're going to talk a lot about what this stuff means. And if you want to be amazing at RFPs, and if you want to get very big government projects, then understanding what this document does, what this talks about, and understanding the SIN codes that are here, it's pretty simple. You just
Okay.
have to know these are the services that we offer. We do video and film production, so that's a 541-4B. And then when you scroll down, there's a little bit of legal jargon in there. But then it talks about the actual rates that you offer for the services. Some of our companies
Okay.
have very extensive rates here. So you never need to talk to your manager to figure out what your rates are. And if you don't know what a web developer does, or if you don't know what a PR campaign is, you need to be able to scroll down in here and read the description of who those people are.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
And then when we hire people, we need to make sure that we hire them, that they have these skills, and then we always charge the rate that's up there for whatever that skill was. And then when you go past that, we show some of our previous projects that we've done. These are actual projects from our company or our subcontractors, and these are the service codes that it goes along with that you found up at the top. That was up here.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of complex, but let's just scroll down through this one. And you could see that since it's a media company, we focus a lot more on the photos, and it's not as text heavy as the last one that you saw. Cool, right?
Yeah.
So if you're watching this and you have your own company and you're wondering why you're not getting very many clients, it's because you need one of these documents. Without this document is your ticket to gold. Okay, so now I uploaded all that into the creativity. If we go back to the proposal management and we go down to our documents and we go to creativity, maybe we can refresh this. No, I don't want to sync that. It's not what I wanted. I want to refresh it. Those documents are going to start showing up in here.
Okay.
Yeah, see there they are, proposal. It might not be completely uploaded yet. So there's all the documents that I have on my computer of how I put that file together. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
And like in the artwork final, you're going to find tons of photos in here. You can't see them very well there, but artwork final here, you could see all the photos that were actually inside of that document. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
So the benefit of working with a company like ours is we've already done a lot of the hard work. Putting these proposals together, getting the approval from the government to have these partnerships, that's a lot of the hard work. The easy work is just going out there and talking to clients and then sharing this one little document with a client. That's easy. You just have to send this in an email to people and they can see exactly what you do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
So we then want to go to the RFP resources or the government resources. So if you're in our company, you can just go in here to the proposal management. You can go to government resources. And we've made a list of a lot of the links that we think are needed to try to get jobs, try to get contracts. And these are just random government links that all have to do something with, just something at all with getting contracts. And then in a secondary area, we have RFP resources, which is just specific to finding RFPs. And we only have 2 on here right now. We're going to have a lot larger list of this.
Okay.
And just to give you an example, let's add a new one to this list right now. RFP find. FindRFP.com. Search government RFPs, bids, and contracts. So in this website, they actually have different plans that you have to pay for, it looks like. So they have a trial. So you can look through different contracts over here. But I don't want to pay for it, so I don't think I'm going to save this. I don't know. We could save it. So the RFP database, BidNet, there's all these websites that you can go to. So here's another one. And notice how they're broken down the same way that we have our RFP broken down. So if you go back into the proposal management and you
Right.
look at our documents, we have these categories, right?
Right.
And if you go to their database, well, guess what? You have the exact same categories here.
Oh, that will make my search a lot easier than if you just break them down into like the same categories they list on the website.
Yeah, and then if you look at creative, it says audio, visual, branding, entertainment. It even has subcategories underneath of that, right?
Right.
And if you go into our creative and you open up that schedule, here's our main schedule. Instead of making you go through all of these files, how about we take that schedule? Where is it? I'm going to copy it and I'm going to put it up in the main area right here. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So you could open this schedule up and scroll down to those SIN codes again. Here they are. So these are all the sub areas that we offer. So we have a very, very big company. Lyra, for example, you've known us like 3 years. You still have no clue all the areas that we do. We have so many different categories.
Right.
So it's important to look at these SIN codes so that you know what our company's capable of. So we'll have this document here, and then you can have these here, and you can kind of compare them. You can look at all the descriptions there, and you can look at these here, and then you only want to go into the areas that we actually offer. Now, since we've had this
Okay.
media company for a very long time, we actually offer every service in media that is even a possibility there. Other areas,
Okay.
though, we don't do that. Like we have construction, but we don't offer everything in construction. Same, we have business, but we don't do waste and recycling, at least not at this point today. And we actually don't have our, so this is called a schedule. This whole document is called a schedule. We don't have our schedule put together yet for our business services. So even though you might find great projects there, just our company in particular, it's going to be hard for you to get a contract there since we don't have that schedule put together yet. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Now, we've been in business a long time, like 15, 20 years in a lot of these sectors. So for us to not have a schedule together yet, 15 years later, that's, I wouldn't say that's normal for a business, but you know, I'm 36 years old, so for a 36-year-old CEO to not have schedules, yeah, that's normal. You don't really get into this kind of work until your 40s, I think, or older. But most, like I was an entrepreneur in my 20s, and I just made random prices on stuff, random contracts. There was some consistency to it, but there wasn't nearly as much as there is now in the company. We just have an amazing amount of consistency. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense.
Okay, so let's copy this link here, rfpd.com. I don't know if we can go into these. Let's look at the branding one. Request for proposal, volunteer firefighter. They want a recruitment and marketing video. Do you see that?
Yeah, I see that.
What's going on? You need to respond faster.
I muted my microphone. Sorry about that.
Oh, no muting. Needs to be
Okay.
instantaneous. Needs to feel like a conversation. Okay, so
Okay.
when we click on this, it brings up and shows some of the details. Now, the problem with this one is they want us to log in and register, and that's just
Right.
silly. There's no reason to do that. So that's why back in our proposals, if you look at the RFP resources, we only gave 2 links, and I'm going to put a third link in here that I like for RFP, and it's called FedConnect.
What are these links for?
Well, that's what I'm explaining right now. Enter a URL, https fedconnect.net. And in the info column, so they're mainly called RFP databases. Essentially, the US government runs this one right here, fbo.gov.
Okay.
So let's go to the actual link and let's see what it looks like. So you can search by specific keywords. You can search by specific categories, places in the US. There's a lot of options here that you can look at.
Okay.
Another thing that you can look at, you can go into our documents and you can look at the SIN codes. See these SIN codes?
Yes.
You can actually search just for that one SIN code and find stuff just for advertising. I haven't tried that one yet. And there's another type of code called a NAICS code. Okay, so when I typed in 541-1, there's only 7 in there. And then when you click on one of them, it's going to come up and tell you all the different areas that are needed for this project to be successful. And I know this looks pretty confusing, but you can actually just read one file out of all of this to see what's going on here. Like this says read me first. I bet this is something stupid. Usually it's not what you want to read. Let's read it anyway. It said read me first. It's probably going to give me some rules. I don't care for their stupid rules. We appreciate your interest. See, we don't care about that. The program is this. It doesn't tell me anything about what this project is. It's just stupid stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So even though it says read me first, you don't want to read that first. It's just a waste of your time. What you want to read first when you're searching for this is the solicitation. Or if you see it in here called the statement of work, the SOW. So
SOW.
yeah, statement of work. So let's look at the actual solicitation. That might have the statement of work inside of it. So it's a PDF file, and look, it's 200 pages. I mean, that is insane. And you don't want to read 200 pages. So let's just, I'm going to press Control F. And I typed in statement of work. And it says that it found the word statement of work 7 times in this document. So let's just keep going next until maybe we find the right area. No, it didn't work that way. Okay, so that didn't help us. Let's go back to the beginning of the document, and then maybe that's maybe it's going to have just something that tells us what this project is.
Okay.
So I'm scrolling through here. I'm just kind of scanning it to see if I can see a summary. Still nothing. I'm on. I guess it hasn't even gotten to page 1 yet. It's calling it XV. Well, let's figure out where page 1 is on here. So this is why this is a job that gets paid well, because you do have to read through some documents like this and just figure out, is this a client for us? Okay, so here we go. Table of contents. So it took me that long. We're on page 47 before we even found the table of contents. That's how bad the US government is at putting documents together. That's just pathetic. Nobody writing a book, selling it to the public, would ever start the table of contents on page 47. And they wouldn't use this tiny text. I mean, these people just have no clue what user experience should be. Okay, so we're going to look for, see how it says SIN groups?
Yeah.
So we have the SINs over here that we offer, and these have the SINs here that they need. So that's good for us. We can just click on that, and it says 541-1. They need advertising. So they need to promote public awareness of the agency's mission. They need public relations. They're just listing out all of this stuff. Okay, well, that's not helping. Still don't see their statement of work. Okay, let's go back up to this table of contents. Now, what you see me doing, I have no clue where I am in this document. I have no clue what I should be looking at. And that's very normal when you're reading these documents, just to figure out what you should do. So contract terms and conditions. Contract terms and conditions required. Contractor tasks. Maybe this has it. Scope of contract. Maybe that's, instead of scope of work, they're calling it scope of contract. Let's click on that one. Let's see if that tells us. So this is to establish contracts which may be used for the activities named below. Okay, so all right, well, they're pretty much just saying that they're going to use it for government and native tribes. They're not saying what they want to have happen, though. I want to move on to that page 99 where it says contractor tasks, travel, certifications. Well, I still have no clue what's supposed to be happening in this whole contract. So this might not be a good example to show you just in 30 seconds how it works, because, you know, it's a 200-page document, so I'll close that one out. Let's look back in here. Maybe there's another file that says what's supposed to be happening. Let's look at that next document. And if I don't see it in here, okay, so this is a very normal response page that we fill out. And we'll cover this in another tutorial. But essentially, you fill this page out and you give them back our document like this. So we would take this document here, we would attach it to this file here, and we would send back to them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
And it says we need to fill out all of these blocks. We need to fill out 12, 17, 23, 24, and 30. So block 12 is right there. And they're asking, are we giving any discounts for our services? Block number 17 is here. They want to know who the contracting officer is. That would be me, and it would have my telephone number for our company anyway. Number 23, unit price. So we would have to actually read through this and figure out what the price of it is. I couldn't tell reading their solicitation in 5 minutes. I'd have to read through that whole document to figure it out. Anyway, you fill all of these out, and then you send your proposal with it. Now, we have this very cookie cutter proposal here that shows what we do, but we might want to edit this proposal so it looks customized just for this one project. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
So this is a great place to go and find contracts. I don't think that was an exciting first one to show people, so let's go back and look for another one. Let's go back to FBO, and let's type in here advertising for our advertising company. And when you just type in a keyword like that, you might get some weird stuff that has nothing to do with advertising. When you use our SIN codes, you'll definitely get the right. When you use those SIN codes, you'll definitely get the right RFPs. So these are what RFPs are. All of these in here are RFPs. These are government different departments and companies within the government that are looking for someone like us to work for them, to do their contracts. And what we have to do is scroll through them and figure out if we're capable of doing it, if it looks fun for us, if we have the resources, and if we're going to make profit in partnering with them. And we have to respond pretty quickly too. Like this was posted on it's posted today, and they might only give you a week or two, maybe a month to respond to that. And it moves pretty quickly. So shredding services, they probably just want you to shred up some documents for them. Okay, so look at this. It was posted on today, and you only have 2 days to respond. See, it's September 27th. So it's a very, very quick response for this project. Make sense?
That makes sense.
So a lot of people that don't know this category, they're not trained in life to go and look at RFPs. They think this is a scary area, or it's boring, or it's slow and you won't get paid very fast. But that's absolutely not true. None of that is true. This is the biggest client in the world, is right here on this website. It's the most stable client in the world. They are guaranteed to pay you. They're guaranteed to pay you a great rate. It's very easy to search for anything you can possibly imagine. If you want to do agile, type in agile there. Do a search for that. And like software support services, that probably has agile coaching inside of there. They posted it yesterday, so it's not like it's sitting there around forever. Click on it, and yeah, it needs a response in 2 days. And then when you see what they want to have happen in here, it's a assistant secretary of preparedness response, pricing sheet, requirements. Still, it's easiest. Here we go. Project objectives. So they want someone with former experience in this simulation system to give training to new people in that system. They want a program manager. That kind of breaks that down. This whole area right here. So this one isn't appropriate for our company to look into. Finally, a scope of work. Because we just don't have these skills. We never have worked with this system before. So this is not a particular project for us. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
So we would skip on this one, but this is a great place to look for stuff. Now, I particularly don't like the FBO website, fbo.gov. I just think it's ugly. I think it's hard to manage. Like when I hit this back button, I lose all my searches and I have to go all the way back to the beginning and search again. That's just annoying. I don't like that. So I like FedConnect, fedconnect.net. It used to be the same thing as FBO, but sadly, it is becoming outdated. If I type in the same thing, if I type in Agile over here, I don't know if I'm going to find stuff as current as FBO. Like the issue date. Look at the issue dates. It goes 2017,
2017.
and that's not good. And this is
Right.
January, it's
18.
July. There's only one here that's probably good for anything, the one that was released on the 5th of the month. So when you click on it, you really have to be careful on FedConnect about your issue dates and your response dates, because they do not do a good job. This one's already expired. You can't even bid on it. So for the most part, FedConnect is becoming rather useless in how they have their whole system set up. So even though I like it better, it's just obsolete. The U.S. government got very frustrated with all these companies that were abusing them, and they used to contract out and they let everybody use FedConnect. And then they're putting a lot of stuff back on their own main website now. The interface isn't as nice, but whatever. It's very, very current. So you have Agile here. You could type in all kinds of stuff. So we have our DAO management company. We have our DAO media company. We have our DAO learning company. So anything from those three companies is authorized with the government to do different contracts with them. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
So that's how you use the government sites. You type in your word here, like education. And these are all for-profit contracts. Everything here is for profit. So these people want to hold one-day seminars, aircraft maintenance, enterprise solution. Like they might want us to, like education and training services, they want us to do training and software for this. So so if you click on that, again, it was on the 25th. And that's the other thing. This is an award notice. An award notice is not an RFP. An RFP is they're looking for somebody to do a project. But an award notice is just notifying everybody in the world saying, hey, we picked a winner. So we don't care if they picked a winner. Okay, so you understand how this site works now, right?
Yes, I understand.
Okay, so the next step, if we find one that we like, if we find one that we actually want to do, so if we type in media, training center media system, maintenance repair, communication detection, I'm just going to find one remotely close to what we do on our company. Well, let's go back to that 541. This was the SYN code that I got out of this document. Okay, so see, these are solicitations. we're mainly looking for solicitations. A solicitation means that they want somebody to bid on this immediately. If all they're doing is a pre-solicitation, well, that's boring. We don't care if they're doing a pre-solicitation. And sources saw it. This means they're just gathering companies that might maybe want to do this someday. And that's not fun either. You don't really want to waste your time on these. You want to work on the solicitations.
Okay. I'll pay attention to that when I do the search then.
Okay, mobile phone services. Well, I don't like any of these. Let's look at a different one. So that was 541-1. How about we look at 541-3? And you're going to see that they're going to be very similar, maybe even the exact same ones. Because oftentimes they'll clump together all of these into the same. So you can imagine how much time you could spend on a system like this.
Just to find the right contract.
Just to find a contract.
That's lots of work.
But once you get a contract, it usually lasts a year minimum, sometimes 5 years.
Oh,
And it'll employ quite a few people on your team. Most of these are $200,000 minimum, up to millions of dollars.
I see. So I think it's worth our time to do the research.
Absolutely. Well, that's why I'd love to train people like Millette and all the VAs of how to do this. So if you learn this and you get one or two, and then we take these training videos that we're making and we give it over to the rest of the team, then we can really refine this process. So, yeah, you can also search by all these other things over here. So it has advanced search as well. And in the advanced search, you can go down and categorize in like the NAICS codes. So the NAICS codes, in my opinion, are the best way to do your searches.
Okay.
Each company has its own NAICS code, and we'll need to have a list to give people what our NAICS codes are. And in the resources, the government resources, so the SBDS search is a website that you can use to look up any company. For example, you can look up Dow Media in here. Company name or trade name, Dow Media. And then we can search for it. So if you need to know more information about our company on a government level, then you can go in and use this SBDS system, or SDSBS, whatever it's called. The link is in there though. SBDS. Why did I call it SBDS?
SBDS.
Database system. Anyway, okay, so it found us right here, Dow Media. So you can click on it, and it's only going to show you the public information. And then you can scroll down here and you can find all the different NAICS codes. See these?
Yes.
So while you have the SIN codes are a little different than the NAICS codes. You use your NAICS codes as categories for searching. So we can go in here, we can copy this code, we can take it back over here, and then I put that in and I hit check. And you can see that it will start with the same. Let's see where we were. See, these all start with 541, 512, 519. It's going to be similar to your SIN. So then we can take the next one. We can go back here, search for it, and check. So you can do that with all of them that you want. The third one, put it in, and I can click on show selected. So I have 3 selected so far. Okay, so you get the idea. I could keep on going. So I'm going to go ahead and hit search. And now that I hit search on there, this gives me a good amount. I mean, that's 380 different opportunities that have all been posted in the past 3 months. So we might want to change that even further, because we really are only interested in the solicitations. And look at all the other junk that's in here. That's not a solicitation. So that's kind of annoying. So let's go back here. And let's change this to solicitations only. So opportunity, what type are we looking for? We're mainly looking for solicitations. So combined synopsis and a solicitation. I think that's all. Okay, so that's going to be drastically less than the 380 that we saw before. Now we're down to 72 solicitations. Okay, so now that we did that, look at that. They want virtual assistant to do photographic mapping, printing, publication services, print and digital advertisements. So let's click on one of these and let's see. The response date is already passed, so we're too late on that. So that's the first thing you want to do.
You need someone like to search on a database like very frequently, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We need somebody on here all the time, making sure we don't miss these.
Right.
Yeah, so this was posted on the 10th, and the response is by the 13th. So I missed that one too.
Too bad.
Too bad. Science Interactive. Yep, missed that one too. So let's look at the ones that are more recent, like this guy. So, and they want a response by tomorrow. Please see the attachment. Yeah, so you can send questions in to them and they'll respond and they'll put it all up in here. But sometimes when you download these statement of works, I mean, their website is really, really bad. I mean, like crazy bad. And you can even see here, they say we have a brand new website coming, and the new website is at beta.sam.gov.
Okay.
They said until then, fbo.gov is still the main source. And they said once it transitions, you're actually going to be redirected over there. So let's go check that one out. I've been there before. I forget if it works or not yet. So they're pretty much getting away from they're getting away from FedConnect, and they're getting away from that crappy site they had before. And now they're going to be using this website. And they are doing a pretty good job of making sure their sites are coming together. And I don't know if the search actually works. All award data. We're just looking for solicitations. Yeah, so I don't really care to train people over here until they get the site all working. So pretty much what I'm teaching you on this website, it's not going to work in about a month and a half. But the concept is going to work. These files that I download, these files aren't going to change. You're just going to get these files on a different site. Does that make
Right.
sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, so on this one, statement of work, introduction, the Department of Homeland Security. They want you to read labor market insights, use big data. That does not really make sense at all. They want to build a platform that can handle all of that. And our company can definitely do that. We have plenty of staff that can build a platform for this. So that would be a good one for us to bid upon. And so essentially what we would do is sometimes they have the email of who to respond to. Like, see right here, primary point of contact. I would click on her and then, well, I'll just show you what I do. I'd click on her. It's going to open up my Outlook. Now, again, this is a U.S. government person. And if you are not listed with the U.S. government, it just doesn't really, you can't respond to them. You can't really do anything. And then I would take my Dow Media schedule and I would attach it in here. And then I would also take their file they have. I don't see where their file is. Unpin. There we go. So that form that I said you have to fill out when you send back to them, usually they have it for download on here. Anyway, I would fill that form out and then I would email it back and hit send. And that's it. It's as simple as that to bid on these. Make sense?
Yeah.
So these might not be exciting to you, but for people like Sam, people in the media industry, it's a dream for them to work on some big web design project like this. So don't look for contracts just for yourself that excite you. Look for things for other people as well. So if we go back into our resources and we look at our RFP resources. So I just added FedConnect as an extra one in here. We haven't talked about grants.gov. Let's go look at that one now. So on grants.gov, you almost can only bid on this if you're a nonprofit. So our only company that really has a chance on these is Dow Learning. Now, one problem with Dow Learning is we don't have that schedule yet. The schedule that we have here for Dow Media, it still needs to be better. Let me show you a problem we have on here. We have a blanket statement right here where it says everybody's $140 an hour. That does not look ideal to the government to work with us when everybody has the exact same price. It's okay. It's just not perfect. So in the future, we need to break this down a little bit further and show what our junior staff gets compared to mid-level, compared to senior, so they can get a very clear picture of the expertise that they're getting on their projects.
Okay.
With Dow Learning, we don't have that broken down at all. We do have some beautiful proposals, but we're not breaking down the prices that easily. But let's go and search for the grants over here. So you click on search grants and you can look for keywords. Same thing, you can look for the next. You can even just search up here for grant opportunities. And I do like this website. This website is very easy to look for. So if we type in education, and these give a little longer closing dates as well. They give you maybe 2 or 3 months. See, it says posted that day and it ends on that day. Cool?
Cool.
So if we click on one of them, I mean, we wouldn't do this one because it closes today. But we could do this guy since he closes in a few months. So let's click on him. And yeah, they're pretty much saying that they want to do a lot of stuff in STEM. They want to help people get job creation in STEM. They want to train people, educate people about what STEM is, show them the importance of STEM in the U.S. economy, blah, blah, blah. So that is perfect for our company. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I agree. They align with our vision very well.
Right. So it's exactly what we do. And what you would do with this one is go to the package. Or preview, apply, package opportunity ID, synopsis. Trying to see where to download their files. Usually in the related documents, there's usually like 10 files here. Now, I'm the only one in the company right now at the moment that has login access here, but that's not really needed. What you could do is, so like I said, let's say that we actually like this. So in our company, we're using Dynamics 365. So we're going to go to Dynamics, and we're going to write this down in here. So we have all these different categories, right?
Mm.
We have this guy called the Nonprofit Hub. And we're going to say that again?
Do I have access to that in Nonprofit Hub?
We can figure that out later. I don't know. So we go in here, and then we are going to figure out where we put this. So leads. Let's make a new lead. STEM education. And let's just open this up in a new tab, put him on the right, and put this one on the left. Let's go back. So National Science Foundation is the business. And we essentially fill this out. I don't know if it has an actual person's name in here. Oh, there we go. So link to additional information. Click that guy, and it actually takes us to the NSF website. And then it'll give us all the documents to download. So we'll download the PDF. Okay. And it's 15 pages long. General inquiry regarding this should be mailed to. So I'm actually going to put her name in here. Do you see how I got that?
Yeah.
Okay, so the company is this. It's nsf.gov. See what other questions they might be asking me on here. Details. Then we'll put a description in. So let's go back to this. This description's insane. I don't know if it's good to copy all of that into there. It might not even let me. Yeah, see, it cuts us off at a certain point. I'm just going to put ... meaning there's more. Okay, and then let's go to files. I don't think I can add files until I save this. Okay, so topic is STEM education. I feel good with that, so let's save it. Okay, after we save the lead, then we can actually add files into this, and we can start, everybody can start working on this together at this point. So I can go to the files now, and it now gives me this option to upload and do all of this. So let's go back on here now. And where was that file? What tab is he on? This is it. Okay, so let's download this. And I'm just going to put it in my downloads. Save it. And we don't want to save anything on our own desktop. We want to keep everything inside of Dynamics. So let's go to Upload. Maximum upload is 50 megabytes. Larger files can be uploaded to SharePoint. Okay, so let's choose. And let's go to Downloads. Choose this NSF file we just got. Open it, and okay. Oh, come on. What is an error? Whatever, dude. You upload that file. I don't think it's going to work.
Is it because our file is too big?
No. I don't want to really diagnose it on screen. But what we could do is save it into SharePoint. So underneath proposal management, how I have our whole system set up is, let's see, proposal management. So you go into proposal management. I'm doing this here. Other people can do it inside of the proposal management. You can go to the documents here. You can go to education. And let's create a whole new folder in here. So new folder, and let's call it NSF STEM Education. And now that I have NSF STEM Education, I can actually go back on my desktop and I can go to that downloads, take this file. I'm going to cut it out of my downloads folder. I'll go to the proposal management into the education folder. I'll find the NSF STEM Education right there. I'm going to paste it in here. So now this is actually in SharePoint. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
If I go in there, you'll see it right there. It's in SharePoint. And we are going to be linking SharePoint to Dynamics. And that way, no options. Yeah, so I'll link this up with SharePoint. That way anything we ever put in SharePoint is just automatically synced over here.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to do. We haven't really used this yet, so. But this is a beautiful area to keep track of everything that we do. And if you go back to the leads, you could see now that Ellen Carpenter is up there at the top at just one of our new leads for grants. And if you click on it, you can break down very easily what her name is, her email, who's she, what company it is, and then you can go to the details to get more information about that project. We really should be putting in here the link directly to that opportunity. It shouldn't just be a generic NSF link.
Mm-hmm.
So, like this link right here takes us directly to that project. So we'll take that link and we'll put it into this project. So on the timeline, or I don't know where I should put it, in the details. I'm looking for like a link area. It's different than the company. I mean, the company has a website, but this project itself has its own. Well, Okay, so I added that there, and we can figure out the best way in the future to do this, but that works for now at least. Okay, so everything that we've covered today is only how to search for RFPs. That is it. It's not like we applied for RFPs. It's not like we're just searching for them. And you can see why our staff, like Sam, that are working full time, actually doing work, why they don't want to do this stuff, because
Right.
it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of time, and they're so busy doing the actual work that just searching for the project is actually just as much work.
Mm.
Do you have any questions on it so far?
I don't have any questions. I think I need to go back and watch the videos again, and I would say I'll just watch the video and do the search at the same time to learn more about like this website and how to do the search on there. But yeah, it looks like there are a lot of time required to search the right project. But once the right project is being found, then we got a bit on it, and I think that would bring um, just great opportunity for the whole team. So I think
Absolutely.
I'd be very excited for that.
So this is all for government stuff, and I want to go over one other area so that you can build confidence in knowing what our prices should be. So I went to government resources, and in here there is the e-library. The e-library by the GSA. Let's go to that link now. And like I said, we only have our schedule put together for Dow Media. So I'll open that up again. We only have this GSA schedule put together for the Dow Media Company. We don't yet have one for any of our other companies. And what we essentially should do is come on here to the e-library, and we should look up other companies to see what theirs looks like. So, IT solutions, that could be DevOps, that could be building portals online, all types of stuff. So we could go in there and look for that. I don't know what services are. Energy, environment, furniture, office. Maybe we're doing office or professional. IT professional services, advertising and marketing. Yeah, so either of those. Okay, so then I clicked on that. And what you'll find, this has a category number, 13251. So you can pick any random one in here and figure out what this company does, why it does what it does. And I want you to see what these look like. So the US government gives you access to everybody's GSA schedule. So you have mine here, Dow Media's, but it's not like it's top secret. You can go on the official government website here at the GSA library, and you can find any of them. You can like look at this company here. I never have heard of this before, but we can come over and we can just click on this. I don't know what it's doing. My computer's freezing up. Let's just stop it. Man, these government websites are pathetic. Oh, it finally stopped. Okay, so now that it finally stopped, I can click on one of them. And all these little numbers down, or letters down here, they're telling you what that company is. Like, is it, I forget what they stand for. Economically depressed. Is it women owned? WO, I think, is woman owned.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of options like that too. So you can find a company that's going to be kind of like yours. Like this is a woman owned company in Springfield, Virginia. It's called Lead It Solutions. Okay, so if we look at this one and click on it and download it, you can take care of a lot of your work for you. Oh, this one looks ugly. But you can at least see how much they charge for their services. So these are showing all the different people they have that you can hire. And it shows how many years experience that they have on their team. And then they break it down at per hour how much those people are worth. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
And then they also are giving a government discount. So they're saying a contractor, oh no, they're giving a discount based on if they have to go on site or not to do the work. So this is one company's, and that one's pretty ugly actually. I'm used to looking at the media ones. Maybe all of these are ugly if they're not media companies. That one was in Mountain View, California. You'd imagine Mountain View would be a lot prettier. 76 pages, that's huge. So I'm scrolling through here. So they have their various codes on here. And the reason this is important is if you have questions about what we should do as a business, if you want your opinion to be heard on what we should do, you should get your opinion out of documents like this. You should say, I looked on the e-library and I saw this company is charging this rate. Or if you're asking for a raise, you could say, I found people over here making X amount per hour. I think I should make that amount per hour. Like you see here how much people are getting per hour for these services. So did you see the prices on the last one I brought up?
Vice President.
Say it again. Say it louder. Speak into your microphone.
Vice President.
Did you see all the prices on the last one?
Yeah, I saw those.
Did you know what the average was?
I have no idea.
It looked like it was about $150, $120 to me. These are a lot higher. $350, $280. That's significantly higher prices. And this is in...
Per hour, $300 per hour.
Yeah, this is all per hour. So this is all back in 2012.
Oh.
And then it breaks down how many years experience these people have and what kind of work they do. So this is the next step for our Dow management company, is to make a whole schedule like this and break everybody down. And you personally are going to be on here as like an agile coach as one of these numbers. Okay, so anyway, you want to be confident looking at the e-library in here and being able to see all these documents. Now, everything we've covered today has only covered the U.S. government. Every single government in the world works like this. You can look up your own government. You can look up anybody's government and get a contract anywhere using this kind of system. At the same time, a lot of the bigger companies just out in the corporate world, they also have RFPs. You can look up an RFP search. It doesn't have to be just for government stuff. I don't even know what the companies are where you can look for RFPs. Yeah, public sector websites. So I looked up media. So they're wanting a wall, audio, video equipment. But they're wanting us to pay to get access to the RFP. So I haven't done my own research enough to know what the best RFP databases are.
Mm-hmm.
But there's definitely tons of them out there, like here, which search is the best in the RFP database. So you can look up stuff like this, like RFP pretty old-fashioned, 20 to 50 a month. And if we get people that are going to be doing this, I don't mind paying for them. In your own companies, you guys should definitely get people paying to do this kind of stuff.
I think so too.
Because $20, it's nothing. Even $50, who cares? But for now, I'd rather just see that you guys go on grants.gov, look for stuff there. I'd rather see that you go on to fbo.gov, look for stuff there. And after you guys create some energy on that, then we can gladly move that to other places. But don't be putting this stuff on my sites.
I did not put that on there. You put it on there.
Yeah, I don't know how to speak squiggly lines.
Well, I did not create this group. You created this group, so that's on you.
You know, Polina helped with the initial website we made, the welcome
The
website.
welcome page, yeah, I watched that video, and I don't know why, yeah, and she had Russian on there initially, right?
There was Russian everywhere on it. It might still be on here. I don't know. I don't see any Russian. Yeah, you guys keep putting your own languages on here. What it is, Microsoft detects your computer language and just assumes that you want to write in that language. It kind of forces it.
So it actually added by Microsoft. It wasn't really added by me or Paulina.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we covered today was those two areas. I have a lot more I want to teach on this. Like I said, 20% of your whole life should just be on understanding proposal management. And people that know proposal management, people that know sales really well, they will agree with me 100%. They'll actually think 20% is a very small number. They'll say 50%, 80% of your life is just sales.
Well, if you just spend time on searching these proposals, and then that would bring like lots of great opportunity for the whole team. And I agree that, the time invested on there would be worth it.
Absolutely. So it's the time and the passion. The main thing you need to see is, this stuff is boring. Even just getting through your day and reading this one paragraph here, that's boring. Who wants to do that?
Right.
But if you do that, and then you come back to the team and you're excited, you're happy, you have passion, you're nice to people, that is, you can't put a price tag on that. Because the kind of people that read this, they're boring people. So
yeah,
be able to...
I'm pretty sure that people who wrote this are boring people too.
Right. Be able to go through this. They have that problem. They're like, man, nobody loves STEM education. Well, why would they love it when you write crap like that? Nobody's going to love that stuff. Ridiculous. They need to study psychology more to realize why people like, Star Wars instead of STEM. So, yeah, go through these and get through the boring stuff, and don't come into the team and tell people that you've been reading boring stuff. Nobody wants to hear that you've been having problems reading boring stuff. We all know that it's boring. Cool?
Cool.
After you read through that it's boring, put it up into the dynamics like I was doing. And right now, dynamics, it's kind of empty. We don't have much going on there. I think we want everything in leads. And then if we actually want to move forward with this Ellen Carpenter project, we can qualify it. And then when it's qualified, we can start putting together the actual invoice, the actual proposal to send off to it. Okay. So the lead was successfully qualified. I don't know where she moves to now that she's qualified.
Opportunity.
Lead. Do you see that in here though?
I see that it's underneath opportunity, the STEM education. And
yeah, I see that too. There. But like once we leave, let's go home. And now let's get back to her.
Okay.
How do we get back? Is she still in leads? See, she's not in leads anymore.
Click on opportunity and see if she's there.
But where?
Organization.
Yeah, so this is they made this area for nonprofits. They said it was going to be really easy for nonprofits to use this. It's not though. Not yet. So you're going to have to train people on how to use this kind of stuff. It might still
Okay.
be in leads, but then the drop down could be opportunities. Stupid, isn't it? Stupid that they don't have
All right.
an
It's
opportunities
interesting that
area.
they don't have opportunity here.
Well, we could also put the lead in the wrong place. Campaigns, designations, tasks, documents.
Interesting. I'll have to play around with it and see if I can find the area. I'm pretty sure it's somewhere in here in this database. We just need to find out where it is.
Yeah, now that I qualified her, she's gone.
Right. But maybe we can do a search on her, right? We can search her name on here. Maybe we can
Yeah,
find her.
yeah, that's annoying though, because
Right.
I want to have a whole systematic process for how we handle this. Just gone.
Active contact.
Carol, is that what her name was?
Um,
Karen?
car, car, Carpen. Forgot her name.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Too many names.
Yeah, so if you could figure out how all of this works, then that would be great. And then we'll put together really tight tutorials in the future for how we're using this whole system.
Right.
And then, like I said, there's a lot of other ways that you could be doing contract management too.
Okay.
There is, you just want to build relationships, you want to find people, and you want to see that advertising has nothing to do with begging people to, do work with you. There are people out here like this, they're begging companies like us to come on and help them teach the world STEM.
Mm,
So
yeah.
you should more be the bridge in the middle to make sure that they actually meet up with us.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not hard to find opportunities. You just have to know where to look. I don't think I'm going to cover it in this video, but I will just cover a few areas. There's Upwork.com. Maybe in the proposal management area. Let's make a new list in here. No, not new that. So in proposal management, new list. And just having a place to go to find all of the potential ways you can build business, I think is pretty important. Okay, opportunities. So in the opportunities area, So I essentially have the name of the company, the website, and information about it. So if we go into quick edit, we can quickly put together a list here of multiple places that you can get opportunities. Still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just watching you typing.
I want to blend together some places that people can find employment, where they can find RFPs, where they can find contracts. Facebook is becoming a great place to do job search as well.
Oh, yeah.
And to get contracts with different people. Indeed, LinkedIn, Ladders. I don't know what Ladders website's called. It was just theladders.com. So essentially, I want to make a list on here of some top places to find opportunities. And then I want you to be able to look at this list, and not just yourself. We want to create a system so that other people in our company, when they're looking for opportunities, they know exactly where to go to find those. And they need to stop the habits that they have of going to websites that are, or playing games that are not really successful for their career. And then they need to start working on using these types of systems. Because if your life is just surrounded by only these websites and that's it, then you're going to make money. You might not be crazy high end on what you do, but you're definitely going to be above middle income if you follow this.
Right.
Oh, that reminds me of like Team Blind.
Yeah, instead of spending time on Instagram and TikTok, I don't know what else.
TikTok. Teamblind.com. Okay, what other ones do we have? I don't know, but you're welcome to fill this out with more stuff, and you're welcome to... I don't want it to be stuff from poor countries where the opportunities are only making like $300 a month. I mean, I know I put Freelancer and Upwork on there. Those are really the cheapest sites I want to have. I'll add We Work Remotely. That one's getting decent notoriety. Okay, so this gives you a few places that you can start looking for opportunities. Another place is also social meetups. I guess I'll put meetup.com on here. Have you done social meetups?
Yeah, I've done that a few times.
For like business socials?
Yeah, went to a few at Hong Kong and Shenzhen as well.
I forget what this is called.
AngelList. Yeah, that's a good website too.
I think this is a good short list for now. So in proposal management, we want to see that, we have these documents, we have these RFPs, responses to RFPs, and this
Mhm.
document that we have here can actually be used with anybody. It doesn't have to be a government contract. If you find anybody in the world that wants media services, you can send them this PDF. You can say, I represent this. I can get you a contract with these people.
Mhm.
Same thing with education. We don't have a generic one yet, but we can piece together a generic education template pretty easily. And then you can send it to anybody, not just government. And then we want to do that with every single category that we have a company in. So whether you're going in the opportunities and whether you're finding something on AngelList, if you're going to meet up, you can even print that out and you can take it with you to one of those events. You can apply for contracts on these contractor style websites and you can submit it to the contractors there. You can go to social events like galas and you can share what we do in our company at the gala. So there's all kinds of ways that you can create opportunities, but you need to just surround your life with this concept. Too many people, they have 24 hours a day and they don't surround themselves with sales opportunities. You have to realize the only way to bring in energy is to be in these areas. Because if you look at all of these areas are places where people have problems. Like we work remotely.
Mhm.
People have to pay $300 just to post up on here. It's not a ton of money, but they're not even allowed to
Still.
put that crap on there unless they pay $300. And this one's
Right.
featured. It might even cost more since they got the featured area.
Mhm.
And since it's remote, nobody works at a job very long. We're happy to contract out a lot of our developers for any of this stuff. And it doesn't have to
Oh.
be seen as an actual full-time job. It can just be seen as a contract, just like anything else. So you're welcome to send out our schedules and our proposals to those bids, and that's going to look way better than sending over a resume for something. Cool?
Cool.
So do you have questions on this? Did I miss areas that you wanted to discuss?
Um, I do have some questions, but I would like to discuss the questions after we've stopped the recording.
Fine, nobody else gets the answers. All right, so I think I covered everything that I want to cover. In the future, my end goal is to make this proposal management page self-sufficient to where people don't need me, and they can come in here and they can very easily see the best documents that we have, amazing tutorials teaching you how to use them, and then areas to find opportunities and RFP resources, and maybe some success stories too of the past projects that we've done this with, or past people like yourself that you might have came on and did a month worth of work on this and landed $1 million contract, landed a $5 million contract. It really does not take that much work. And I want this to be I want to make it like a proposal party, not a proposal workspace. I want people to be excited to come into our company and say, man, I'm going to get some proposals together. That sounds fun. And
I think some girls will be very excited for this job because it doesn't really require much of the hard work. It just requires patience. And lots of girls, they have that. So
I agree.
we can definitely do a proposal party.
So I believe that's all we're going to cover. I'll go ahead and kick off the video now, and then I'll upload this to the sites.
All right. Thanks, Matt.